When you're getting a mortgage, probably one of the most confusing parts about getting a mortgage is just simply understanding what the process is. And as you go through the process of getting a mortgage, there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of pieces of information that are asked for or told to you. And sometimes over that 30-day period, which is about the average time to get a mortgage, you can really get spun into a lot of confusion. So today, I want to give you just a kind of a really simple flow chart as to how the mortgage process works. So as you go in to get your mortgage, you'll have a rough understanding of what to expect. So the first step is having an interview with a loan officer and telling them what you're trying to accomplish, whether this is purchasing a new home or refinancing your mortgage, maybe taking some cash out, or maybe just trying to get a lower rate or shorten the term of your mortgage. Initially, you have to talk to a loan officer. They're going to take a loan application. Sometimes you'll hear people call it a 1003, which is the form number. And then they're going to pull your credit and take a look at that, and they're going to do initial sort of based on their knowledge and expertise, they're going to do an initial pre-approval, or they're going to help select the right programs and the right pricing for your particular situation as you've conveyed to them in that loan application. Once that's done, if you're purchasing a new home, you'll get a pre-approval letter assuming that you are qualified, or if you're refinancing, you will very quickly get a loan estimate that will tell you what that loan is. In all cases, after that loan application process, the next step is you'll get possibly a pre-approval letter if you're buying a home, but in all cases, you'll get a loan estimate. That loan estimate doesn't lock you into anything, and in fact, it's really kind of your opportunity to shop if you choose to see if you can compare loan estimate to loan estimate and get the best opportunity. If you're going to a mortgage broker, we kind of take care of all that for you. Also important to know is if there's anything you don't understand on that loan estimate, and your loan officer should review that with you, you should ask them lots of questions at that point, and they should be going over every single item in that loan estimate. The next thing that will happen is we'll ask you for the documents that would support the information you gave us in the loan application. So these are things like your tax returns, your W-2s, or your 1099, something to document your income, debt information, bank statements to show us documentation about how much debt you have, and the bank statements to show where all the money that you're going to use for, let's say, down payment or reserves in the case of refinance. So we're going to collect all those documents. When we have them and we know that they're in good condition and that they match up to what we were told on the loan application, then we're going to, as a loan broker, we're going to submit them to the lender. That lender is going to review those documents, they're going to underwrite them, and then oftentimes they'll come back to us with what's called conditions. So there'll be a few extra questions. They'll say, hey, explain maybe this large deposit, or explain this aspect or that aspect of their income. We'll get a few more conditions. If we're purchasing a home, the next thing that we're looking for is the purchase agreement, and that really is what sort of jump starts the whole process in buying a home. And the mortgage process moves very quickly after we have the purchase agreement. If you're refinancing, actually all of this kind of happens really quickly and is actually compressed. But once we have the purchase agreement, then we'll again do the last bit of underwriting that we need to do. We'll immediately order the appraisal so we can find out the value of the home. If you're refinancing, also we're going to order an appraisal in most cases and justify the value of the home. And then in the case of a purchase, we'll probably also do a home inspection. At that point, in both cases, there's then a title process where the title company will look to make sure that there are no problems with the title and the deed, so that when you own that home, you actually own it and there's nobody out there that has a claim on it. And that's a lot of the activity, and that takes a little bit of time. And then ultimately, we'll do a final closing disclosure where the title company will come up with all the fees and make sure everything's exactly as it will be at closing, and how much you need to bring to closing has been disclosed to you, and all the little fees along the way. That will come in a closing disclosure. Then we'll ask you for the date you would like to close, and then ultimately you'll come to the closing, which just simply means the closing agent will sit down and sign all the documents with you and go through that process of signing for the mortgage and getting ownership or title to that property, or in the case of the refinance, you'll simply be getting the new mortgage with the new terms and situation.